What's the atmosphere? How's it different when you're scrimmaging against each other? Does it make it a little bit more real?
Man, definitely. I think I love scrimmaging. Scrimmaging is like the most realistic reps we'll get, in practice. And so, when the scrimmage comes on and everything's like in that game setting, I feel like especially me and a lot of guys on the defense, we all come together, lock in, trust our training, trust the process, and we're just out here having fun, so we enjoy it.
Were you a little bit jealous of the Devo guys that got to go live?
Man, yeah. I mean, going live is always fun, and getting to lay the hat and everything, and just trying to keep the team healthy and everything. But yeah, man, we're looking forward to that game one where we'll be able to take it to the ground and just do our thing.
What were some of the goals on defense for today, and how did you guys do in achieving those?
Goals for defense for today is, obviously not give up a touchdown, limit the points. And I feel like we did that pretty good. We had a field goal down here towards the first drive. We had some miscommunication on that deep ball, but, that's, right now is the perfect time to, work that all out, get the kinks out. By the time we're game ready, all of that's locked in, we're crystal clear. But I feel like the defense overall did a great job. I think we communicated well. We played with great effort, and everyone was just out here like having a good time, balling. And so that's what we're looking for, and we're ready to keep building and keep expanding our knowledge as the days go on, for sure.
How would you assess your development in your relationship with Teddy Buchanan?
Man, me and Teddy, I feel like we've come a long way. Teddy, on the field we've developed chemistry together, and we're still building that. And then off the field as well, me and Teddy, we're one locker room apart, or one locker apart in the locker room, and so me and him are always chatting it up, and we're good friends. And so I think for me and Teddy, just keep building, building that chemistry, and encouraging the team as we go on, for sure.
In terms of kind of what you feel like you guys were able to do this last week, in terms of growth and development, what were some areas that you were really happy with what you guys did?
Today, I think we were really happy with, I'll probably say the communication, going over this week in practice, going over walkthrough and everything. We were talking about communication and motions and checks and everything. And so I feel like for us, we were able to get that dialed, but, still working and still getting better each day. But, I feel like the defense played well today. I think they showed up, and we played with good effort, good energy. And, that's a good thing because it pushes our offense. It's iron sharpens iron. We're all trying to get better out here. And so any way possible we can do that, we're excited, and we're excited for game one. And, we're going to see what us defense can do and what the offense can do as well.
You guys were in the backfield pretty consistently today. What was the key to that?
Key to getting the backfield, I would say just, reading your keys. Coach Sermon does a great job teaching us, reading our keys and reading personnel groups and formations. And so, and just playing ball. Sometimes playing linebacker, especially, it's an instinct. Just a trigger, go, and so that's what we do. I think Teddy has great instincts. I think Hunter has great instincts. I think the whole linebacker group is very instinctual, which is good. And so we're excited and ready to get after it.